record.
Here's a question for you guys.
And they want to make money.
When you guys see that one hit, is there any indicators that tell you this artist will stick around or won't stick around?
Usually, how you know is on the inside is when you hear the second and third single, especially back in the day. You'd be like, all right, we know they're going to put the gravy train behind this. They're going to put the money behind it. At this point, SO and I will tell you, when that first single comes, the clock is ticking now. In the era SO came in, they already knew. The clock was already ticking. We have the rollout. Now these artists be dead in the water. They have one single, and SO be looking like this. All right, hon, they dropped this in March. They got about until July.
It's just not made for them.
Yeah, it ain't.
It's a catch-22. That's all.
Them as in who?
The
artists. It was never made for them before, but now with the technology and so many artists and streaming and everything, like they'll really one-hit wonder you to death.
And you know why?
And just bringing in the next person?
And because we learned the one hit is enough to sustain and keep catapult a label for the whole year.
One hit, not an album.
Not an album.
It's one hit. The way streaming is set up and the amount of money they get. It's like when you think about Meek Mill. Meek Mill said that he went into the label and Going Bad with him and Drake made the label $24 million. He got $1 million.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? He got $1 million.
So it's in the label's best interest to just churn out singles. It's cheaper. Yes. And the return profit is way higher.
Because that artist's value will increase, right?
No,
if they stick around.
No.
Yeah. If they stick
That's
around.
what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Then you bring in the new person, they have less value, right? You don't have to pay them as much.
They all got less value as we bring them in. It's like it's the same way in sports. Why they don't want to bring on the veteran because you got to pay them too much money, so they'll go with the G League two-way player, or they'll go back inside the draft, or how about this? When you get drafted second round, you can get a newer contract faster if you perform iller.
Real quick, Ice Spice Munch was great.
Yeah.
Does she stick around? Because she's had some follow-ups.
I think based on how she looks and carries herself, and I feel like this is a feeling. I don't know this to be accurate because usually we should think about this. I think there's enough people behind the scenes that will try to keep her alive a little bit longer if she falls off.
Ice Spice is on a big #1 record with Pink Panthers right now. And
so that keeps it going.
And she has a cult following. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like people can say that she can't perform. People can say that they don't get it. But remember one thing, she's from the Bronx, New York, and New York MF's got swag for days. And people love Ice Spice, okay?
They do.
So
Don't you love stories like that? Like
What?
just making videos in the Bronx and it could lead to this? Like that's the beautiful thing about hip-hop.
I mean, that's the picture that they got to paint, but regardless of what it is, people love Ice Spice. You know what I'm saying?
It just works.
What's the biggest misconception about the space you're in, the podcast space? I know SO kind of groups it in with the social media space as well because when he says podcast, he says social media as well. And I don't think of you guys as just podcasters, right?
We're not.
I don't even use the word.
Yo, Pete,
we're more broadcasters, right? And
I don't
podcast
use none of these.
I
I despise titles. You go.
Well, we were just titling.
I don't despise titles, but I'm
Well, we've been. Well, he was just titling Drake rapper.
Well, I don't despise titles.
No.
That's not me.
Okay, got you.
We're individuals.
Fair.
No,
I don't despise.
Here's the thing with
fair,
titles,
fair.
right? I've always said this, and y'all been around.